Hi Fly Tires, and welcome to this episode where we are starting from the beginning on the Vise. Now all Vises are somewhat different from brand to brand, but this is the Wolff Vise, the Apex, and it is really a great Vise by Wolff Industries in Indiana. These guys were really nice and got us these Vises, and I hope that you enjoy the use of these Vises. There are easier Vises to use and there are harder Vises to use. You know, you kind of get what you pay for when it comes to Vises. But let's go over the parts, move along. I want to get all caught up in Vises. What we have is a series of parts that are pretty much universal, but not always. This is the base of the Vise. It's very heavy, and that is so the Vise won't slide around while you're using it, because you don't want it to slide around. On this brand of Vise, it has a threaded hole where the mount, this is a very fancy mount for the stem. We'll get to that. But this is the mount that goes in, and it threads in like this into the base. If you are right-handed, you put the stem on the left side. If you're left-handed, you put the stem on the right side. So I'm right-handed, so you're looking at this for a right-hander. And you screw that in. These will already be put together for you when you get to class. I'm just going to show you, in case one gets taken apart, that you can figure out by watching this video how to put it back together again. Then when you get down to where it's kind of tight, you're going to get to position this wing screw. I'll call it a wing screw because it's not a nut, any way you want along here by turning it like this, and then you take this ring right down here, this knurled ring, and you tighten it down on the base, and then you find that it's set. Now, so this is the actual stem holder is what they call it. Kind of boring, but that's what they call it. Now what you do from there is you take the stem of your Vise. We'll get the rest of the parts. This is the stem right here. You take the stem of the Vise, place it in here. You'll hear it hit bottom. You can adjust the height on this a little bit if you want. And then you begin to tighten this down to where you want it to be. Okay, so now what we have is an assembled Vise. This is the base, this is the holder, this is the stem. There's a hex screw right here where you can adjust the angle of the Vise. And then this is the head of the Vise with the jaws right here. These are the jaws right here. So this is where we grip the hook, is with these jaws. This jaws are different from Vise to Vise. This is a rotating Vise. So if you loosen this right here, it's not rotating to tie, but it's actually rotating so that you can turn the fly over while keeping it tight and tie from the bottom side or the top side, whichever side it happens to be. Okay, so that angle is adjustable of this head right here with this hex screw. Typically this is pretty well set up. If you want to make it more horizontal, you can. So once you get it like you like it, before you put any hooks in, you're going to tighten this guy back here in the back. So let me show it to you. See this guy right here? Tighten it down. Okay. So now we're getting into the functionality of the Vise itself. This is what actually tightens the jaws onto the hook. This knurled screw right here is what adjusts the tension that you're going to put on that hook, because different diameter hooks require different size opening here. And what you want is for it just to get tight enough to hold the hook without crushing, smashing, or bending the hook. We'll talk about hooks later, but there are hooks that are soft enough that you can bend them with this Vise. And this Vise is so strong that you can actually bend the hook in here before anything will come loose. It's very, very, very strong jaws on the Apex Vise. That's one of the reasons I picked it out for our classes. Okay. So that tightens it down right here. This spring right here is kind of like decoration. So it's here so that you can hang feathers back over this way or anything you're tying with to get it out of the way while you're tying something else, because sometimes you have to tie a bunch of stuff on at once, get it out of the way, and then start with your wrapping like that. So that's why that's there. Okay, guys, this is your vise. It will be assembled and in a bag for you, guys and girls, and ready to go. And from there, all we have to do is use this knurled, what are you going to call it? Dial. I call it a dial, I guess. Back here in the back to actually put the tension on the hook. And once you do that, start tying. If you need to rotate, you just do this right here, rotate it, take that thumb right there and tighten it down again, and you're good to go. Make sure that when you're tightening all this down, you really tighten that down right there and this right here. You don't want things to start moving. Just the first thing when you get there, even if it's all put together, go in there and go ahead and tighten all this down one more time just to make sure. You're not going to break anything on these vices. I've never seen any vise broken. Now the other variation on this is you can actually buy this vise and you get a military discount. You can buy this vise, instead of a base, you can have a clamp that this fits into, and it sits right up here close to you like this. It's just up to the person who ties the flies as to what their taste is like on these things. So me, I like a base, and I've actually started designing my own bases that are a lot different. They don't weigh as much, and they work just as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Let's go on to the next episode, which is the tools that go with your fly tying adventure.